Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, is my co-host from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Rebellious__D23. How you doing today, sir?
You know, Banks, I was going to go with the Ready to Rock, but man, let's get this show on the road.
Hey, I like it. And today we're doing a review for episode 5 of Marvel What If, and it is What If Zombies. So before we get into today's episode, make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe, and make sure that you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
And as always, podcast in the description. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching.
That's right. So that way you'll always be notified when we have new content. So like I said, this episode was called What If Zombies, and I went into my room, went into my secret stash because I did collect comics back in the day, and I had to bring it up, man. Marvel Zombies issue 2. I was hyped when I saw the initial trailer showing that we were going to get zombies in the Marvel What If series. And, I was a fan of the Marvel What If zombie stuff back in the day. I am that idiot that did sell his comics because, I was one of those guys where it's just like, after I finished reading something, it's like, I wanted to pass it on to the next person so that way that they could experience it too. And I really wish that I didn't sell those comics because I had some really, I had Marvel Zombies versus Army of the Dead. And I just checked that up to see how much it cost if I wanted to buy a brand new $80. And it was a hardcover book. And you want to know how much I paid for that hardcover book back in the day? $20, bro.
Sounds about right.
So
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's
So to everybody that's watching right now, if you have comics or you have any hardcovers or anything, keep those things. Just keep them, let them collect dust. If you have kids, let your kids read them. If you have family that comes over and they're in the comics, cousins, sisters, aunts, uncles, and they want to read them, let them read them. That's all I can say about that. But sure. This was a really good episode. Last week's episode was a sad episode. And while this episode, it could be counted as a sad episode because people did die, it wasn't a sad episode. It was filled with action. It's
kind of like watching a zombie spoof.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it reminded me of,
Bro, I just love, because when it comes to these what if stories, it's like I always try to see like how they're going to lead into the people being what they are in this scenario, going all the way back to episode 1 where Peggy Carter, instead of leaving the room like she did, she stayed in the room. So with this, I loved how Hank Pym, they go into the quantum realm, and Janet, she's been infected by a virus that turned her into a zombie as she bites Hank, and then Janet and Hank, they come back through the portal and they just start killing people. Like Hope, she ends up escaping.
Scott, people up.
Scott, he gets bitten, and I just love how the infection started getting, it was an outbreak. And then, of course, you call Earth's mightiest heroes to come in there and save the day. And what ends up happening? They end up getting turned into zombies because Ant-Man ends up biting one of them. And it's like Earth's mightiest heroes. It's like they become zombies. Now, I wanted, because I didn't think about this when I watched the episode, but this story, it takes place after Civil War. Because it will have to take place after Civil War, and because
during or after.
Well, see, and that's the interesting
Winter
thing,
Soldier's he's already over there in Wakanda.
Exactly. And then not only that, but because it takes place before, it takes place at the start of Infinity War, because Bruce Banner, he comes back to Earth to warn everybody about Thanos, and then he sees that the Earth is pretty much deserted. But what I'm trying to say is that Civil War already happened. So it's just, so do you think that the Avengers, they put their differences aside so that way that they could come together to stop the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah, apparently, let's see. Yeah, because you have Cap and Iron
Man, they were together.
And Iron Man together, so yeah, they had to have. I thought it was a wonderful what if, because that's also to say, what if, because what if they just sent Bucky there for help and they never broke up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just assuming because it is a what if story.
Yeah.
So,
Now, something that I thought was interesting too, and this is kind of like jumping towards the end of the episode, is that I'll save that for later. But
yeah, go for it.
I just thought it was interesting, like, the only heroes that are left, as far as we know, are Hope, Peter, Bruce, of course, because he came back to Earth.
Yes.
Happy Hogan, Sharon Carter, and Bucky and Okoye, and that's pretty much it. Like that. Yes. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about
Vision.
Kurt.
Oh yeah,
I forgot all about Kurt. But
Vision
so like,
was technically there too.
Yeah, Vision was there because he is a android, so it's like they can't really eat him. But it was
T'Challa too.
T'Challa was there too, and because Okoye, she was looking for T'Challa because he had went missing, and I just thought it was interesting because, of course, they take some liberties from the comics, because in the comics, it was Hank Pym who was in the role of Vision, where Janet, she had became a zombie, and I believe Hank was cutting off pieces of T'Challa to feed to Janet. That's what was going on in the comics, whereas in this, it was Vision that was cutting off pieces of T'Challa so that way he could feed Wanda, who had became a zombie,
which was awesome.
Yeah, but bro, like that, this episode, man, if you love zombie movies and stuff like that, like, you'll enjoy this episode
for sure.
I also enjoyed the fact that while this is a Marvel movie, it's interesting to see like how much they're going to try and get away with, because you got to remember, at the end of the day, kids are still going to watch this too. So I thought that they did a really good job at testing the limits of what they could do,
and having the black blood instead of red blood, and making all the jokes throughout the episode. I did enjoy the zombies just hopping all over Thanos' goons at the beginning, the children of Thanos, and just eating them.
Bruce was just like, "Hey guys, it's good to see y'all." Like, that's a little overkill.
Holding homeboy's arm up.
So, but now, since we're kind of getting towards the end, like the entire time when I was watching this episode, I was just asking myself, it doesn't matter if they survive or not, like Thanos is still coming to Earth, and then we see that Thanos is a zombie now. So it's pretty interesting to see that the Mad Titan was brought down and was turned into a zombie. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you had Hulk. And remember, one of the zombies tried to bite him.
He used it basically as armor.
Bruce. The Hulk protected him.
The Hulk was basically his armor.
And like, this just also goes back to what I was saying about like every episode of this show, is that I always want to see what's going to happen next. Like, I want more, because at the end, we do see the survivors who did survive escape. And I'm just like, this is the end of the episode?
Now,
like,
question.
Yeah.
Now, has this already been greenlit for season 2 or not?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what if they just do season 2 is just like, What If Zombies Part 2, and it just continues these stories? I think it's the perfect format, to be honest, because you get to continue all these, these many, stories that we got little snippets from, like the Guardians and things like that. And
I mean, bro, like,
I think it'll be fun.
Every episode that has come out so far, I want to see what's going to happen next. Now, with the 4th episode, because we see pretty much Doctor Strange is the only one left, and I'm pretty sure they're going to touch on that in the Doctor Strange movie. But I feel like that there doesn't really need to be.
What I mean. If it's open for it,
exactly. If it's
I don't think anybody's asking,
because with this, what I'm saying. Because I was telling Dee before we started recording that in the Marvel Zombies comics, they do end up going to Wakanda, and I can't remember what ends up happening, but it's like one of the zombies, they end up helping them when they're in Wakanda. I can't remember the story. It's been years since I read it. But I do remember that the superheroes, because they can't get into Wakanda, they end up leaving Earth, and then they go to space, and then they end up fighting against Galactus, and then they eat Galactus and they end up getting cosmic powers, and they just go all throughout the galaxy, going to different planets and feeding and until their heart's content. And I believe there's something that ends up happening where Spider-Man, Peter Parker, like he comes to the realization that what they are doing is wrong, and he's just like, we're supposed to be heroes. And I believe he kind of reverts back into being a hero, but he's a zombie, and he doesn't. I think the only people he kills are, I can't remember if he still kills or not, but he goes back to being a hero. And if anybody's interested in reading the zombie stuff, I would highly recommend it. Like if you can find it somewhere, or if Marvel does have like a online store where you can read comics, I would highly recommend it, because the stories are really good, especially the Marvel Zombies versus the Army of Darkness.
I'm not sure about Marvel titles and their licensing and all that stuff, but if you're looking for anything that's hard to find in general, and this being a great case of that, check Comixology, the app, out for anybody out there who's looking for rare comics to just read, at minimal cost. I'm talking $2 a comic, $3 a comic. So if you're somebody who's always on the go and you don't have time to get a paperback or get your hands on a hardback, that's a great site to use. So.
Now, one last question that I had for you, D, since we're at the end of this thing. Now, and this is also a spoiler, so if you haven't watched,
turn the video off and come back.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier, then you can just go ahead and end the video right here. But we know that Sharon Carter, she's the power broker and Falcon and Winter Soldier. Do you think that they even got that far in this?
Of course not. Of course not. But I mean, it's hard to say, man. But I'm saying it's hard to say she even had to leave the country. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, okay, so she was on the run for a while. She got basically blacklisted, went underground, and ended up leaving the United States. But what zombie apocalypse breaks out, I think you stop caring about all that, right?
Yeah, because everybody's just trying to work together to survive at this point. Yep. So, so D, final thoughts on the episode, and what is your rating for it?
Me personally, I had no interest. I told you this off the air, but me reading zombies just isn't my thing, but watching it, and it just gives it the media switch helped a lot, because this is by far my favorite episode so far. Final thoughts, I thought it was fun. Their explanation for how the Avengers ended up getting bit was very interesting, starting with Cap, and then Cap basically could overpower just about everybody who was there, on top of being backed by a horde of zombies. So I thought it was great. I'm going to give this episode 8 out of 10, man. Highly looking forward to whatever they do next. The series overall is great. You, Banks?
Yeah, for me, I enjoyed the story overall. I enjoyed that they actually took elements from the Marvel Zombies comics and implemented them into this episode, but put the MCU spin on it. It was interesting seeing the group of survivors that they did choose that were trying to find a cure to save the world. It was also cool seeing like some of the other superheroes be zombified now, like seeing Falcon as a zombie. And bro, again, like I said, by Marvel pushing the limits, like I wasn't expecting Okoye to slash him in half. Like it was crazy. And she told Bucky, she was like, I know that was your friend, and he was just like, I'm kind of sad, but I shouldn't be, because I mean he's a zombie. It was cool seeing him. It was cool seeing Hawkeye. I really thought it was really cool seeing Cap as a zombie, and then you get Bucky and Cap fighting on the subway train, and then Bucky, he ends up picking up the shield after he kills Cap, and I was just like, that's pretty dope, man. Like
somebody's got to carry the mantle, right?
And I know me and you had this conversation. Bit my lip. I know we had this conversation off of the pod earlier today, but when Bucky ends up fighting against Wanda, we see her, like she sends him flying and whatnot, And I had asked D, I was just like, well, do you think that he died? Because I mean, like he has the super soldier serum, you know what I'm saying? And she does send him flying, but he also has Cap shield, and Cap shield, we've seen that it's been able to resist, you know, impacts from, you know, high falls and stuff like that. But you know, I've read on Wikipedia, they said that he does die. But I mean, it's just an interesting theory to think if he survived or not, you know, because we don't know.
Yeah, it's off screen, so it's off screen. They could say what they want, and then they could change their minds. You know, I mean,
exactly.
That's what happens when you have stuff off the screen. It happens all the time in titles. So
and then this is another thing too, because it's like, and that's why I say, like, these what ifs, they make you ask more questions after you watch them, because we see at the end of Infinity War, Nick Fury, he presses the button to call Captain Marvel to Earth. Like, she wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes you think, like did Nick Fury, did he hit the pager in time? Like, who knows? But
Hank Pym was thinking of him first.
You get right over there and snatched him up. It's just interesting, man. But also too, one other thing I wanted to mention, Peter, he says Uncle Ben, and I'm just like, yo, like, so now we can finally mention Uncle Ben in the MCU. We finally mentioned, because he mentions Uncle Ben and Aunt May, and I was just like, yo, this is awesome. So for me, I know I've been rambling. I give this episode a 9 out of 10 just because I do love zombies and I love everything they did. So let us know in the comments what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you want to see more? Like, what other heroes do you think are still alive in the MCU? I mean, and like D, I'll ask you this too. I mean, who else do you think is still alive? Obviously, the Guardians of the Galaxy are still alive because they're not on Earth. But what other heroes on Earth do you think are still alive? Give me 3. You don't have to give me many. Just give me 3.
I mean, do they have to already be introduced to the Marvel MCU?
Yes, pretty much everybody who had been introduced leading up to Infinity War.
Jeez. 3 heroes. I'm gonna cheat because I'm about to say Thor.
Oh yeah, because we didn't see him there when yeah, that's true.
Let me see. Leading up to it, I mean, most everybody.
Oh yeah, duh, because he's still on the ship after the fight with Thanos. Or what happened to Thor after that? Didn't whatchamacall has sent him to
Guardians picked him up.
The Guardians picked him up. So Thor and the
Guardians, obviously Thor, and War Machine. We didn't see him at all. I was going to say
War Machine too.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't come in there and start lacing up zombies like some old tennis shoes, you know?
Yeah, for me, War Machine is one of my choices. I'm trying to think everybody that's been introduced so far. Definitely War Machine.
Yeah, he's the big one, man. He didn't get surprised he wasn't in this episode unless they're saving it for later. Surprised.
Do you think your boy
cause see,
what's his name? Is it John Carter? You think he's still alive?
Oh God. See, but the thing is, War Machine would have been the perfect grizzled vet for this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's got all the guns, he's got the artillery. Let me clear you away, and they didn't use it. Surprising, to be honest.
War Machine. So, I can't remember. Was Black Widow? She was with him when they got attacked, right?
Yeah, but I didn't see her zombie.
Yeah, we never saw her zombie. You know, we saw everybody else's zombie except
because
hers.
When Bucky went and they were like, when he finds T'Challa down there, I thought that she was gonna come out of nowhere and just start trying to attack him because she's a spy.
She's a spy.
You know, I thought she was just gonna come down out of the shadows. But no, we didn't even get that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of went. I don't know.
So definitely, I'm going with Bucky. I mean, not Bucky. War Machine, but yeah, Black Widow is an interesting one. I'm really trying to think like what other people would still be around at this point.
Nick Fury.
Yeah,
we didn't see him at all in the episode.
We didn't see him. I mean, he could have been in hiding. So, Nick Fury, War Machine, and dang, this is tough. I'm really trying to think of all the movies right now. Like, we had Ant-Man, we had We had Ant-Man 2.
Milton. Michael.
Milton. What other movies? Yeah, I mean, so yeah, this is hard, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with those two. Nick Fury, which War Machine, and possibly Pepper could still be alive.
Potts, yeah, she's got access to all the suits, so it doesn't make, it's not that crazy of an idea. So
no, I doubt she's alive because Happy would still be she would be with Happy, right?
Unless he stashed her. That would be Happy's goal, is to protect her.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, like, what if he stashed her away? They can't get you here.
Bro, Happy couldn't even protect himself.
But Happy's happy.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. With that being said, let us know in the comments. Let us know who you think is still alive in the zombie What If. But D, let them know where they can find you at the social media land.
That's going to be rebellious_D23 Instagram.com. And Banks, the Avengers are running, they run a little short, man. And they accept the applications. Tell them where they can find you at if they need another hero.
You can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at Benjamin Banks on Facebook. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching this review. Make sure you check out some more of our reviews, reaction videos, and interviews that we do have here on the channel. Podcast, brand new episodes every Tuesday with the video of that episode on YouTube that Friday. Keep that pinky up. Stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.